Hello BookTube, welcome to the Literary Buffet. My name is Louis, and for today's Poetry Thursday, I thought I'll read you something from this guy here, Rudyard Kipling. I think everybody knows him. Of course, he's the author of the Jungle Books. He has a few quite famous poems. If I think it's quite famous, but also Mandalay. I quite like Mandalay. And that's kind of like the basis for the very famous song Mandalay, or On the Road to Mandalay, or whatever it's called. But today I'll read you a shorter one, and it's called Gethsemane. And it's from his collection The Years Between, which was published in 1919. And so 1919 should give you an inkling of what this poem is about. So, Gethsemane. The garden called Gethsemane, in Picardy it was, and there the people came to see the English soldiers pass. We used to pass, or halt as it might be, and ship our masks in case of gas, beyond Gethsemane. The garden called Gethsemane, it held a pretty lass, but all the time she talked to me, I prayed my cup might pass. The officer sat on the chair, the man lay on the grass, and all the time we halted there, I prayed my cup might pass. It didn't pass, it didn't pass, it didn't pass from me. I drank it when we met the gas beyond Gethsemane. So, obviously, World War I poem about the horrors of the mustard gas and other gases that were used in World War I. There's a reason they were forbidden after that, and even in World War II weren't really used. Yeah, so I think Gethsemane, the name is of course the biblical name, so from the Garden of Gethsemane in Jerusalem, which I don't recall exactly which one it was, but I believe it's where Jesus was arrested, something like that. So I think it's the garden linked to the Last Supper, but I might be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll put it in the comments below. Obviously, Kipling nowadays is much less read. Probably a pity. I mean, obviously he is nowadays almost like seen as the poet of colonialism, British colonialism, especially British colonialism in India. But yeah, I think it's one of those cases of, as so often, separating the art from the artist, from the time when the artist lived and what people in that time thought. Maybe someday I'll do a video about that, but not today. Just briefly, I think it is possible for a human being to hold more than two thoughts, at the same time. So you can appreciate poems and poetry or other works of art that are, infused with things like colonialism, and still think colonialism was, of course, bad, of course, an evil, imperialism in general, of course. And Kipling, was basically a man of his time, with things that should be condemned and other things that should not. But anyway, let's not go too much into that. If you hate Kipling, tell me below. If you love Kipling, also tell me below. And we'll leave it at that for today's Poetry Thursday. So thank you, BookTube. Goodbye.